Matt's not actually left Google, but as I wrote last week on Search Engine Land, someone else has taken over his position as the head of the web spam fighting team. And I also explained that that new person isn't likely to be the new Matt Cutts, in that there's probably not going to be a new Matt Cutts, in the sense of one person who everybody really gravitates and fixates on looking for answers. Instead, you can expect to see a variety of Googlers that will be taking on that role. And one of those who we're happy to join us today is Google Webmaster Trends Analyst Gary Illyes. Gary. You always say Gary's last name, you just say Gary. So welcome, Gary.
I always try that, and you always try to say my name, so it's like, whatever. You're like a webmaster, actually.
I try. So Gary, to start off, what's it like being the new Matt Cutts? All right.
You are getting old. So as you said like a few moments ago, but probably you are getting old or something, there is no new Matt Cutts. There's a team who's actually like taking on his role as like a PR person or someone who represents Google. And then there's a separate person who's actually leading the web spam team. And that guy has, I don't know, like 12 years of experience leading teams. He's a brilliant engineer, but he doesn't want to actually go out and talk to people, which sometimes I totally understand.
But why? It sounds so strange.
Yeah, I know. It's like working with people is so amazing. But yeah, he's an amazing guy, and I'm sure he will do amazing stuff with his team.
Great. Well, so since you're new to the SMX Advanced stage, I thought we would start off with something easy. What's the deal with Panda and Penguin? We have been told that new data is being pushed faster than ever in the past, and that they're in everflux, so it's always updating so quickly, it's not even worth announcing when we have updates. And then we're told sometimes it takes weeks or months for them to go by before they're updated. So what's the schedule?
I think our definition of easy is different. But that's all right, I guess. Panda. Which one? Yes, Panda. There will be a Panda update in about 2, 3, 4 weeks. I don't want to say 2 weeks or a couple of weeks or anything like that, because then you will tell Barry that.
Oh, he's already written it. It's already.
Yeah. He has no internet. I can set up a hotspot for you if you want.
Yeah, please do. Don't set up your hotspots. That's why we can't get any internet working here. Or you put some hotspots on and then it doesn't work.
Yeah. So Panda, there's an update. Well, a data refresh coming in a few weeks. I don't want to say exactly when, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because I would probably set an expectation for the team that they can't meet, and then it would just look bad. But there is an update, data refresh in the works. Penguin, that's a hard one. We are working on making Penguin to make it update continuously and to not have data updates, but that's months away. That's a huge work. We have to change many things, many working things, yeah, that's really months away.
So Panda still seems like, are we aiming towards a roughly month, 2-month-ish, 3-month-ish update schedule?
So our goal is to refresh it more often.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, it also hurts our search quality if we don't update it that often.
Right.
But
I panicked. I thought I lost my glasses because of the oldness.
I was freaking out for a
They're
moment.
right here. Don't worry.
But yeah, it's not that easy to refresh Panda too often. We have to gather data in order to do a data refresh, and sometimes that data is either scarce or there was some noise introduced, or something went wrong with the data, and then we will have to wait another month or 2 months. It's a painstaking process, but yes, our goal is to update it more often, mainly because it's also hurting our own search quality, which typically
So both
don't
of them
like.
be updated more often. Is the idea to do Panda more often than Penguin?
Penguin would be, and I'm very aware what I'm saying, that would be continuous. So there would be no data updates.
So the goal is that Penguin would have a real-time.
Exactly.
We're not there, and we're months away from
Yes.
being there.
Yes.
But in months from
Yes,
now,
exactly.
we may get to a real-time
Exactly.
situation. Whereas Panda doesn't look like it's aiming towards a real-time situation.
Right,
Panda
no.
will always be a cyclical type thing.
With Panda, we would always, or in the foreseeable future, we would still have manual data updates.
Okay. So what's that Google penalty server thing? John Mueller was doing a Webmaster video, and there was a little bookmark that said Google penalty server. Is this, listen.
Yeah. Imagine that. We can see the penalties people have.
All the penalties? Like
Well,
manual,
pretty much.
algorithmic, you can tell everything has been
I
hit?
mean, most of the penalties. There are a few ones that, well, no, actually all the penalties. But yeah, I know it's surprising that we have a tool that lets us see people's or sites' penalties, but yes, we do have one.
Can we see it? I
No.
want to see it. Well, that kind of leads, by the way, that was from Barry Schwartz, who's given a number of questions here, our great news editor from Search Engine Land, who can't look up because he's just written 3 stories in the time I've spoken. Is there any hope of Google finally telling us, since you have this ability yourselves, just which major automated penalties or actions have been taken against you? You guys have done a great job where you've really made an effort to try to tell people if you've been hit by something manual. But you still get people who are like, I was hit by something, I don't know what it was. And if it happened around a time when you've announced a Panda update, okay, well, that's probably it. If it happens during a time when you haven't said anything and then 3 weeks later you guys come back and say, oh yeah, we released Panda and Penguin and some other thing we didn't tell you about all at the same time, then they don't know what to fix.
Right. So if you're thinking about an algorithmic action viewer or something like that, I can't see that happening anytime soon. So don't get your hopes up. But what we are working on is trying to be more transparent about what we are launching. A while ago, we had on Inside Search blog posts coming out with the launches that we had in the past month or something like that. But those were, I mean, we were trying to dump there pretty much everything. And in my experience, that caused more confusion than any good.
It was great. You would list 40 different things, and the most important stuff you used to put in like number 11 and 12 and hope we wouldn't notice.
Well, like people were focusing on all the things that they shouldn't.
Right.
The whole thing boils down to create quality content. You will get links. People will love your content, and then you will take off. This works. I tried it with my own blog. It worked. You just have to find your audience, for example. It works. And when we did those, people were focusing. They are like taking apart what we said, and then they were trying to like outsmart those algorithms. It typically doesn't work. So what we are trying to do is to actually do something similar that we did with the mobile-friendly update. Oh, actually, you prefer mobile-geddon, right?
Well, technically, we refer to it as the mobile-friendly update, but the day that it rolled out was mobile-geddon.
Right. I love that name, by the way.
But it was only because we asked Google PR for 3 weeks, 3 times in a row, hey, what do you want to call it?
Mobile-friendly update.
No,
I was on those emails.
They didn't. Well, at the very end, they said, we just think we want to call mobile-friendly update. We said, well, that's catchy for a name. I believe there's a new, after San Andreas, I think the next movie could be called San Andreas, the Mobile-Friendly Update 2.
That's because I chose platypus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Platypus would have been great. That would have been a great name. And then people wouldn't have freaked out. Everybody thought, oh, it's platypus. It's so sweet. Weird, but sweet. It'd have been fine.
Right. I think we should.
I guarantee the next time you guys have an update, you won't leave it to us. You're like, oh yeah, okay, we'll give you a name, Kitten.
But you do know that, for example, which one was that? Penguin.
Penguin.
Actually, yeah, Penguin was that. It's like we came up with some random name, something like mobile-friendly update, and then it comes back to us. It's like, okay, if you don't want to name it something cool, then I will call it Titanic. And then.
Did we say that?
Yes. and then PR was like running around
For
like
Mobilegeddon?
not Mobilegeddon, it was
Pigeon, yeah.
Pigeon.
Oh, yeah.
And then PR was running around like headless chicken, like it's like, we can't name it like that. We can't name it like that. It's like we have to pick a name.
Well, we called it Pigeon in the end anyway. You guys didn't. We
Really?
called it Pigeon.
Yeah.
We
I
are considerate, and we do not want to cause panic unless Google signifies that there'll be a big, huge update that everybody should panic about, and then we say throw on a Geddon. To be fair, on the, well, I don't know if to be fair or not, but since we're moving into it again.
I think we have different definitions for these terms.
Actually, Barry at one point said, but it might not be a disaster. And I said, look, you know, especially if you might remember Southern California when they had the big freeway shutdown, it was going to be Carmageddon, and it didn't happen because everybody prepared. So we were just trying to help everybody prepare, and as you know, nothing happened.
You guys are
so everything was
helpful.
Fine. So you're welcome.
I just wanted to ask you if I should thank you, but
No, I've already welcomed myself. So
okay, cool.
So
Great.
I completely lost track of what you were telling us. What question did you avoid?
That was my aim, actually.
More transparency.
Yeah, we are trying to be in general more transparent, and then we would probably handpick a few launches that we think that would actually be externally very visible, and then talk more about those. In the mobile Geddon session, I was, who named that panel anyway? Anyway, oh, of course, who else?
Did you have a lot of people in it? Yeah. So
Fair
we named
point.
it all right.
Yeah.
Mobile Geddon
Just
too.
let me recover from that. No, I forgot what.
Well, I was part of all.
Yeah. So, for example, I was saying that we are planning to do something with the hacked site.
Oh yeah, that's right. So you got a hack site update coming.
No, I never said that. We are actually working or looking into how could we make something. An algorithm that would probably notify webmasters that they have some hacked content or somehow protect their sites. And our goal is to be more transparent about that, for example. Because like it's pretty obvious when you are hacked that you are hacked. I mean, if you do a search for Viagra, for example, for your own site, then you probably would rank pretty good for your site, Viagra, and then you would see the keywords. So there's no reason not to be transparent about that.
Right.
But we also have a few other launches that I consider good candidates for being more transparent about, and I think that's the goal, to actually pick a few launches and talk more about those.
In advance of them coming?
Yes.
Okay. That's nice, because we used to have this kind of weather report type of thing. Something's going to happen with it from there. So, and we promise not to put Geddon on the end of everything. We'll reserve that for really important stuff.
We'll get some Swiss chocolate for that.
So last month we had the quality update, which first we said, did something happen last month? Everybody says something happened, and you guys said, no, nothing happened. And then we said, are you sure? Because everybody's really concerned about it. They think it's Panda. And he said, oh, when you said did something happen, we thought you meant like did something bad happen. But we did another update, but it wasn't a spam update. We just adjusted how Google assesses quality. So how is Google assessing the quality of a website?
I think that was a pretty bad PR failure, and I was involved in that, and I'm sorry for the confusion we caused with that. That was, typically when Barry, for example, asks us like if there was an update, then our PR team actually thinks or assumes that he's asking about Panda or Penguin or anything like that. And they actually gave an answer that no, there was no Penguin and Panda. But there was actually a quality update. Quality updates, historically, we don't actually confirm because there's not much we can say about it without leaking stuff that would hurt us, either short-term or long-term. But one thing that I want to change there as well is to actually confirm those. So if we are asked, so I mean retroactively, not announcing them. So for example, if Barry would write us an email and ask if there was an update, then we would say that, well, there was no web spam update,
right.
but maybe we could say that there was a quality or a core ranking update or something like that.
Okay.
We probably wouldn't go into detail, like what was it targeting. I wrote it up to our leads, to the search quality leads, and they weren't too excited about like disclosing. Yeah.
They're so interesting.
You're bored?
No, they're so interesting.
Oh,
you could just tell us. So how is Google assessing the quality of websites, and can you detail all the signals that they use? Maybe just one.
So this morning,
one minor one.
So this morning when I woke up, I decided that I want to lose my job.
Well, you have come to the right place. Let's have you go out with a bang. All right, so I'm not going to get anything. Well, how about like click-through rate? Can you tell us, like, this is one of the things people are always like, we know you measure what clicks are going on. Is that part of the algorithm? It's got to be part of the algorithm.
So we use clicks in a few different ways. The main things that we use clicks for are evaluation and experimentation. Clicks. These are the two main things. There are many people who are trying to like induce noise in clicks. One would be Rand Fishkin, another would be Brent Payne, and using those clicks directly in ranking, I think would be pretty.
Is Rand just clicking on stuff to mess you up, or what did he?
I think what he's doing is to like hire people or ask people to click on random stuff. And
that's just
stuff
an experiment.
Yeah, like he's experimenting. Yeah, like using clicks directly in ranking wouldn't be, or it doesn't make too much sense when it's that noisy.
But do you use it at all? I mean, I get that it's not necessarily a major factor in evaluation, but
in certain cases. Okay, let me give you an example. In certain cases, it does make sense to use clicks directly. So, for example, if you have personalized results, if you search for Apple, and you are, that's the first time you search for Apple, then we would most likely serve you a disambiguation box, because we have to like figure out if you mean the company or if you mean the fruit, right? And then we would most certainly look at the click that you did, like that you clicked on Apple the company, and then we would know that once you clicked on that, we would know that you are most likely interested in the Apple the company. The second time you clicked on it, we become more confident that yes, it's a company. If you are a programmer, this is very, very obvious, for example, especially if you are a Python programmer. Python, animal Python programming language. After a few searches, your search results will be dominated by Python programming language results instead of the animal.
Because you're using it for personalization then.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And the thing about personalization is that if you want to mess up your own search results with randomly clicking on stuff, just go ahead. It's like...
Right. Well, I am so untrustworthy that if I have
if
I search for my own, if I have to search for my own content, I will, and I'm trying to find something like to write an article and I see it, or I search for anything and we come up, I'll click on it and I will never go back. I'll shut the window down and I'll open it. I'll do it in incognito mode because I'm afraid that if I ever bounce back, that's it. I'm doomed.
Really?
Yeah.
You're serious?
Yeah. I know it doesn't matter. I know it doesn't matter. I'll still cross my fingers too. That doesn't make a difference. I know it doesn't matter. Anyway, hey, does it matter? Are you telling me it matters?
Crossing the finger, yes.
So quickly, because wow, we're blowing through the time. So Mobilegeddon, so how is it going?
I have no idea how Mobilegeddon is going. So the mobile-friendly update was a clear success.
Okay. I mean, some people felt like it didn't happen. Some people felt like it was dramatic to them.
I think there were two things there. First, we weren't clear enough what impact meant for us. We said that, or I said at one point that its impact is bigger than Panda and Penguin combined.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it
Which
was.
is hence the Geddon. Because those were pretty big things.
Okay. Calm down, Gary. Calm down.
I am.
Do you know that last SMX he was fixated on buttons? He wanted to put buttons in everything, like in Webmaster Tools, in search results, in what else?
Did you read ahead on my questions? Can you see my questions?
Oh, no.
There's a button question. It's all right. It's all right. You're just streaming to your phone.
But anyway, your mobile Geddon. Yeah. So impact.
Let me put it to you differently.
Oh, wait. So the number of affected URLs was much, much greater than Panda and Penguin combined.
Okay.
The number of searches or search queries affected was way bigger than Panda and Penguin combined.
Okay.
And these, I think we should have said that. Not just like leave it after people to interpret what we said. And also there's a difference, like the breadth and versus point.
I see what you're saying. So the potential impact was much broader than those things would have hit.
Yeah.
But in reality, after it rolled out, because what didn't happen after it rolled out were people like going, the sky is falling or whatever. It seemed actually relatively minor. Most sites
but it
didn't
affected way more pages than way more URLs.
Was it
the
maybe more?
The other thing was that sites actually did switch right before April 21st to mobile-friendly templates, and that was a great win, I think. That worked pretty good. To give you an idea, I pull a random number. We expected 50% impact search results, search results, and that decreased, I think, like 17% by April 21st. So it decreased dramatically the effect that we anticipated. Yeah.
Let me ask you kind of related about app indexing. Can you detail in depth how, no you can't, I know that already. Curious, don't ask me the technical stuff on app indexing, it's not my thing. But what I do want to ask is, it feels like we're getting to this place now with Google where no app, no need to apply, right? I mean, it's like, a good example is I'm searching on my phone, and now it's like you can do the app indexing, so it will suggest that, hey, do you want to install this app? I know you don't have it, and you're on a phone, so maybe you want to have this app. In contrast, we don't get things like when I search for a website that a little email sign-up box appears next to the listing saying, hey, you interested in this site? You should sign up for it. Or you don't get things like when you search for it, hey, here's a Facebook like button. Why don't you like the site as well? That'll make sure you get more of the content from it. So I kind of feel like, do we all have to get apps now?
Sometimes it makes sense to have app, but it's not for everyone, right? I mean, if you have an informational site, then you probably don't actually want an app. But if you are, for example, a car dealer, then I don't see why wouldn't you want an app when people could search for cars on the go when they are in transit on public transportation, hopefully. But yeah, back to your point, we do have different universal results, as you know. So for example, for images, we have universal results, and or news, we have universal results. Apps would be kind of like that. So we want to present users another way to consume content. And if they like it, they can install it from the search results. I think taking out one step from the user journey is actually a really good thing for the user.
What's the deal with direct answers? They have grown over time. If I look at the Moz feature tool, last year when I would look at how often they would estimate these would appear, it was like single percentage. Now it's almost a third of the time that they're saying the direct answers are showing up. So will they eat all the other results, and is SEO dead? Just, you know.
How can you phrase stuff like that?
Just, you know, you say like, is SEO dead? And then you go, yes, and then we're done.
I definitely don't think
next year
SEO
we
is dead.
break out this whole thing for paid search, and there we are.
I definitely don't think that SEO is dead. SEO is always there, and SEO is actually good for the users in general, except in those few cases where people actually try to game stuff with stupid crap.
What about smart crap? Is that all right?
So, no, I don't think there are smart craps. But it sounds cool, so we might introduce it. Just so you don't go with something gadden.
Sure.
Yeah, we call them actually featured snippets. Usually,
Featured snippets, okay.
Yes, it doesn't have gadden, I know, it's boring.
No, I like the name, we'll go with it now.
You like it?
Well, I always like having an official definition, because then I can go back and change all the content on our website to match it. But it's good.
Well, it makes sense, yes.
It's good. Featured snippet.
You don't like it?
No, I was just winking at Barry. Did you get the whole SEO's not dead part too? You missed that whole thing. I know. I didn't see you typing. I was like, that was gems of wisdom.
He doesn't have internet.
You get the internet to work?
You don't have to live blog everything. You can type it and then post it later. Oh, Matt's got it. We're good. So, well, do they send traffic? Can you tell, by the way, there's a link that's there, right? And so when they first started getting bigger in 2014, a lot of people looked and was like, well, thanks a lot, Google. You seem to be helping yourself to an awful lot of content. Now nobody even needs to go to iMore to figure out how to reset their iPhone. You just put up the instructions that say, 1, buy Android, 2, no, sorry, that wasn't it. It was like, you put up instructions that say, 1, do the button, you know, all the instructions are there. And so, but then I've had a number of...
Did you say buttons? You said buttons.
Try to reset your iPhone without pushing a button. Hey, Siri, reset yourself. It's not working, right?
Oh, man.
It's not working. So the Android won't do it either. So, but then we've had people come in and speak and say, actually, I like the direct answers. We're getting traffic off of them. So can you tell, like, when someone is a featured snippet, what kind of traffic does that send to them?
I don't have the exact number, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But there's a guy in the audience, and he's looking at me right now. He did a great presentation on featured snippets.
Eric likes them.
Yeah, Eric. He did an excellent presentation on featured snippets at SMX West, I think. It's all like going together. Or this morning, sorry. This is West. This is Advanced.
This
right?
is Advanced.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You can always just say SMX and kind of make it vague. At the last SMX at that other SMX.
SMX done.
Yeah.
SMX done.
As long as you say SMX, I'm happy.
Okay. SMX.
Yeah.
It sounds cool, huh? SMX.
Yeah.
Anyway, he did a great presentation on feature snippets, and I think he pretty much nailed it. It can be extremely helpful for the site as well to have featured snippets. But as I said, I don't have, because there are several reasons. One is that it can send traffic to your site. For example, when we don't give a when we don't give a complete answer, and then you actually have to click through to get the complete answer. But you do get a sense as a user that your answer will be answered on the page, or your question will be answered on the page. And then another thing is with branding. Branding is really hard to measure, and that's one problem that we have. Our ultimate goal is to actually have data about featured snippets as well in Webmaster Tools.
You should have a program where we could say proudly featured in X percentage of featured things, right? Featured snippets, or featured snippets partner, or Google loves our content, or just a button or something that we can put on our site. Not button, but well, I guess it would be.
Did he just say button?
People like us on featured snippets. You know, like those sorts of things.
Yeah,
We'll make our own. It's all right.
When I go back to my hotel, I will make you a button.
Do we get a benefit, by the way, if we are picked as a featured snippet? Is that also a sign that Google's like, yeah, I trust you? No. Yeah. Is that a sign that we're perhaps more authoritative than other sites?
That means that your site provides an answer to the user query. That's it. It's good, huh?
You could have just lied. We'd have made us so happy. All right. Oh, by the way, if people don't want to be there, is there like an opt-out?
Currently, the only way is no snippet. So if you don't, because these are essentially the snippets that we actually show in the results.
Well, then I got to lose the snippets for everything.
But these are the snippets that we show in the search results.
Also, Moz has been doing these really great posts where, this one I just loved. I can't remember who did it exactly, but so they made a page, and they made an answer that you didn't have. Then you got the answer from them. Then they took the page down and got rid of the answer, but you still remembered the answer. Like you would still show the answer somehow.
I mean, if the page is still indexed and we are serving,
it's gone.
If we are serving the page, then yes, we would still show it. As I said, this is a normal result that was featured.
But when you get these answers to things, do they go off into the knowledge graph database? No.
No.
Okay. All right.
I think that was Dr. P, by the way.
All right. By the way, if you search for who is the King of America, we are the featured snippet. It's a pretty awesome result. It's Barack Obama. That's a fact. I read that on Search Engine Land. You'll see it later. It's really funny. Don't break it, though, because I use that in my presentation. Oh, yeah, of course.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because see, what happened was Breitbart wrote this thing like, all hail Obama, emperor. And so when you would type in who's the king of America, the Breitbart came up. So then the next day, Barry wrote about it. So then the Breitbart thing got dropped down, and Barry's article came up on it. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, but don't worry about that.
Who is the king of America?
According to Search Engine Land, the King of America is Barack Obama.
Barack Obama. According to President of the United States.
Emma's still talking.
Writes for SearchEngineLand.com.
My God. I did that off the top of my head. I've seen so many of those commercials. Don't worry, if you were to Bing that, it would just be like, I don't know.
Is this a monarchy, by the way?
Yeah, no. That's all right. Hey, oh, by the way, will we get something in Search? I guess you've hinted that in Search Console, which is Webmaster Tools' old name, which was Webmaster Central's old name. So I'm trying to follow the names, but in Search Console,
it's been Webmaster Tools for 10 years.
Oh, okay. You believe that? In Search Console, you said we might get something that shows us.
Yeah.
Are we going to get that?
I really hope that we can provide some data there, and I know
cool.
the team is actually looking into how we can provide that data. The problem is that it's not that easy to interpret the data even on our end,
right.
And then we would have to give it in a way that is not confusing and is easy to interpret. The best example I can come up with is the brand recognition. How do you track that, right?
We could come up with something.
No, it's better if you don't come up with anything. We will figure it out.
I still got a zillion questions here, and then still got more questions there. Some of these questions, by the way, did come from earlier, so they are AMA-ish in nature. And I try to get through a lot of questions that I know a lot of people have an interest in, or at least that I hope. Let me ask you about entities, and this is the idea that Google knows about a thing or business or brand, collected all this information about it. I'm wondering how strong a signal this is now versus links. And what I mean by that was in the past, if Google wanted to know about a website, a lot of what it knew about that website came from not just the content of the site itself, but also how people were linking to it, right? Now we know with the Pigeon update that Google will understand a lot about businesses, even if you don't link to them. Just finding the business name, understands that's an entity, and is figuring out some stuff. And that's why we had all that weirdness that we won't mention anymore on Google Maps. 2 weeks ago. And that's not down to you. That's down to the Crazy Maps team not figuring out what they were doing. Crazy Maps team. But I guess Jen Slegg over on SEM Post was talking about how John Mueller was saying that possibly you guys are also looking at brand entities for web page ranking so that you would understand, say, something about search engine land because somebody said search engine land, say in the New York Times. Maybe they talked to me for an hour and interviewed me on something, and then they mentioned search engine land, but they didn't link because, you know, of course, they can't do that by law. So, but you would still, oh God, no, they can never do it. It's not the reporters, by the way. It's all the editors. Editors just don't understand the idea of actually linking to sources. But so, you know, you're being sourced, so you might understand something about a website even if there's not a link. So is that happening? Did you follow all that?
So most of the entities come from structured data and Wikidata.
Okay.
If there's no structured data, then for us it would be a pretty hard thing to extract entities from. In general, if you have structured data, then we can add the structured data to our entity database or something like that. But if there is no structured data, then it's pretty difficult. Our crawler will try to interpret anything as a link for discovery that looks like a link. So for example, if you have searchengineland.com, then we would treat that internally as a, let's say, a nofollow link.
Oh.
Not nofollow. Well, actually nofollow. And we might, or almost a nofollow. We might use it for discovery, for example, that we would see that, okay. Search engine land, we should visit that site because it's a URL, but it wouldn't pass PageRank, for example.
Okay. So you have the deal with Twitter now. Does that mean that you're going to be using Twitter's signals like the reputation of someone who tweeted and the number of followers and things beyond just inserting tweets?
So, to the best of my knowledge, currently we are not using anything like that. I think we are in very early stage with a Twitter integration, and one point in the past we were bitten pretty bad because we started integrating social engine content in our real-time social content in our search results. I don't think we want to be bitten again.
Okay.
And also, in general, we want signals that are stable and are not that noisy. And I said stable. If someone closes that fire hose, then our signals will just disappear.
Well, we've always got Google Plus to fall back on. The signal's
Fair
there.
enough.
Signal's there. It's stable. No. Facebook likes. But I mean, the Facebook likes are important because they help you rank better.
But that's again something. What?
Nothing.
What?
That's just a test. They don't.
No, but so the problem with social signals is that like people or the webmasters or server managers or whatever they are of these social networks can always just like robot out, for example, the Facebook-like code. And then we wouldn't be able to interpret it anymore. We would remain without the signal. We don't want that. We need signals that are stable long-term. Otherwise, our ranking would be messed up pretty bad.
All right, a couple more here. Kenichi Suzuki is a long attendee and was so eager to get this question, he sent me an essay last week. Here are my questions. Oh yeah, he's great. You'll meet him. You could get a selfie with him later. So you've said that you're going to depreciate crawling Ajax soon.
Okay.
What's happening and what are people supposed to do instead?
So I said that we are deprecating the Ajax crawl scheme recommendation. It's not that Ajax is going away and we won't support Ajax. It's just we are taking, since we are rendering the content anyway, and the Ajax crawling scheme says that you should render the content on your side, we just want to save you from doing that. We would be able to interpret the content on our end without any help from the webmaster, just like we did for 15 years or what's that, like 18 years.
So we don't have to do anything special, really.
You don't have to do anything special.
Okay.
At SMX West, I said that we are going to release a blog post in about 2 weeks. And I set an expectation that I couldn't meet. That's why I don't want to say dates anymore. We are working on making sure that we can support any Ajaxy thing. That's why we haven't released the blog post yet. When we are sure that we are actually supporting all the crazy Ajaxy things that people throw at us, then we are going to release the blog post and we will have recommendations on what to do and how to do it.
Okay. I'm going to go to the open Q&A. I already have some questions that have come in. We'll put the URL up there with it as well. I am also instituting a 5-minute banter bonus penalty, so we will run at least 5 minutes over. So you can start screaming at me now if you had to pee.
Well, thank you.
No, just declaring it that way.
You're so nice today.
Thank you. And keep in mind lightning round. We'll get to a lot of these questions.
We played that last time.
Oh, yeah.
It turned out really good.
Excellent.
It was like I was answering for like 10 minutes and you were like...
Excellent, excellent. So, as more global TLDs start to get introduced, how is Google Search going to do this and take it into account? And are you going to do anything special with your own things? Like if we register searchengineland.google, we get a ranking boost?
No, but if you put meta name PR value 10, then your page rank will suddenly just jump to 10.
Is that meta underscore value or meta hyphen value?
No, it's like meta
space
value name equals
PR.
PR?
Does the PR have to...
Actually,
what if it's all capital PR?
No, it doesn't matter. It can be capital, all capital, or it can be...
Mixed case is okay.
Mixed cases, yeah, okay. Camel case. But the best is camel case.
There goes the banter bonus.
Yeah. And
so
then
no,
for the value, you actually have to set it to 10.
All right.
Don't go above.
So you're not going to favor Google's own TLDs. Anything in general about all these TLDs coming in?
No, nothing changes. Like those TLDs will be treated, or currently are treated as global TLDs, just like .com. There's no special benefit in using those.
Okay. How important is URL structure in today's ranking? Do you care if something's buried within a website? Do we need to still put things in subdirectories? Do you need to have short URLs? Do you even want them descriptive?
So the length of the URL definitely doesn't matter. It's just don't pass that HTTP limit.
Okay.
Or RFC limit. But the structure kind of does matter, but for discovery, not for ranking. Okay. So for example, if something is far away from the root of the domain, then that kind of signals us that that's less important for you as a content owner than those things that are pretty close to the root of the domain. Also, on this note,
keywords?
Of course, please fill them with important keywords. Yeah, that's super important.
That was sarcastic.
Yeah, that was sarcasm.
Make sure you put a little sarcasm emoji in your tweet for that. Okay. Not you, them. It's being tweeted. And it's, yeah, go ahead.
No, you dropped the keyword there. Anyway, but for example, if you link important content from your homepage, then that also signals us that you think that is important. But again, that's for discovery. It will be prioritized during crawling, but it doesn't actually give you ranking benefits.
So it's important, like if we have 1,000 pages on our website, we should put 1,000 links on our homepage to those pages.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. That was sarcasm, I guess.
How is it that the reported number of crawled links from an XML sitemap can decrease day over day? For example, once 8,000 or 10,000 sitemap links are reported as being crawled, and the next day I'll see the numbers down to 7,500 to 10,000. Oh, sorry. You know, once he had like 8,000 or she had 8,000 out of 10,000 crawled, and the next day it was like only 750.
So, we have, or we know about over 30 1,000 trillion URLs. And I know that the expectation is that we should index all those URLs, but we actually don't have enough storage to index the content from all those URLs. So sometimes we have to get rid of stuff from our index that we perceive that people might not search for example, ever.
Okay. My international client has both a .com and .com.cn Chinese site with over 100,000 pages, each in their native languages. In Search Console, the .com is crawled about 15,000 pages a day, but in the Chinese Webmaster tools, they're getting over 100,000 crawls per day. So why is this so different?
So the number of crawled URLs, or the number of URLs we can crawl a day comes from probably 5 factors. The most important being PageRank of different URLs. So for example, if we see that a site is very important PageRank-wise on the internet, then we would prioritize that site. We would try to crawl more from that site because people are linking to that site for some reason. So probably it's important. And another one is the actual host load. So for example, if we perceive that we can crawl as much from a server as we want to, because, I don't know, we are pushing the server's limit, the server is slowing down, sending back content slower and slower, then we will back off from the server. It might be that the Chinese server actually can handle more traffic, for example, than the COM server. There are a bunch of things that play a role here. Without actually looking, I'm not sure what else can I say. It's probably just that we can't crawl as much as we want to.
Okay. Does Google, things are changing on my thing as I speak. Does Google use users' behavior data from Google Chrome, or Android, or Google Analytics for ranking? We'll take them one at a time. Google Chrome.
I think I will go back for all of them to what I said about clicks.
Okay.
It's extremely noisy. I looked at, for example, Chrome data. If you file a request and you wait 3 months for the lawyers to evaluate your request, then you can actually get sampled data, anonymized sample data. I looked into it, and it's just a whole mess. It's a super, super noisy haystack, or I don't know. I don't know actually if you can make sense, or if there's anyone at Google who actually could make sense of that data.
How about Google Analytics? That's always the thing people are like, they must be using Google Analytics for rankings.
We don't use that. I can do this and say that we don't use Google Analytics.
Okay. Does the Panda duplicate content penalty only stem from the page title and text, or can video on the page also contribute to the penalty?
Duplicate content penalty? We don't have duplicate content penalty.
Okay. How about any penalty? Do you care what the video is on a web page?
If I care about?
Do you care about video content that's embedded into a web page?
So, in general, no, for web search, but then you can't ignore video search. Video search will try to index that video and then present it to the user either in video search or in Video Universal. So for example, if we see that if a query is video seeking, for example, then we might surface in Video Universal, in the web search results, a video from that particular site. So I think in general it's important to have, if you can produce videos, then it's important to actually link them properly, use structured data, for example, submit video sitemaps, and make sure that we can index the videos. Because you can get quite nice traffic from Video Universal results.
Sorry, this is a question on the porn site. We might come back to that.
No comment?
I can't parse through all that. Ask him afterward. I think you kind of touched on JavaScript, but how much can you actually read and evaluate in terms of dynamic content?
So pretty much what you would see in the browser. When you open a browser and you go to search engine land, and what you see in your browser, that's what we see in our renderer as well. Of course, for this, we must be able to actually crawl the CSS and the JavaScript. And if you fail to let us crawl those, then we might completely misunderstand your page. For example, we wouldn't be able to detect that it's mobile friendly.
Okay. Let me go back to duplicate content, because there's like a gazillion questions, which I think have all come from the same person. You don't have a duplicate content penalty.
No.
But you do have issues with duplicate content, where if you see things that are similar, you sometimes tend to split the difference, and I don't want to rank either one of them, right?
Okay.
Right?
So in general, you want to, I think it boils down to canonicalization. When you have 3 different URLs with the same content, then you want to serve only one in the search results. You don't actually want to serve.
But aside from that, you do have concerns when 2 pieces of content on 2 different URLs are similar, because otherwise we wouldn't have the canonical tag that you want us to use, right?
Yes.
So why do we need to do that? Aside from
you don't have to do rel canonical. You don't have to add that.
I know.
We can actually figure out on our own. It's more like a really strong hint from the webmaster that he or she prefers that content.
But so should people not really worry too much about, hey, I've got these 2 pages and they're very similar in content. I don't want to get Google confused.
I think there are better things to worry about. We can figure out or in general, which URL should be presented in the search results. If you are not happy with our decision, with our algorithm's decision, then you can use rel canonical and influence that decision. But yeah, in general, we want to show 1 URL per content in the search results.
Do you have any plans to flag in your search results if a site is slow, or another warning if a site's not mobile friendly?
Not mobile friendly, we tried, and people hated it.
Really?
Yes.
They actually wrote in and said, I don't like this thing saying it's not mobile friendly. Just
well,
stop.
when we run experiments, then we can see what are they clicking. And for example, if you put like a red icon next to it that it's not mobile friendly, then they might not click those results, even though we know that in the baseline experiment, they are actually preferring that result. But we also ran user studies, and we were just testing with them a different bunch of icons and text and whatever. And for example, if you put like a little red phone there, then people assumed that clicking that will actually call the company, which is not quite what we wanted. Slow sites, I'm not sure. In a few countries, we are running an experiment on with transcoding. In those countries, I think we do label some sites with a slow tag. I'm not sure what the status of that experiment is.
Okay. We're at our last 5 minutes. If you have a question for the audience, I'll ask you at the end if you want to ask the audience something. You don't have to.
Just go ahead.
Okay.
This should be a lightning session. I don't know how to tell you.
Well, sometimes people want to know what to say.
It's like you are getting older and older. It's like so slow.
I'm so old. I'm going to turn 50 this year, so I am getting very old. Yeah.
50?
Yeah.
You look like 35.
I love you so much right now.
I know.
I love you so much right now. It's made my day. So do you see, I think this is a bit outside your area, but do you think that secure search will have a larger impact on ranking?
Outside my area? It's my baby. I do hope, yes. For me, secure search, HTTPS is super important, and I do want to improve that algorithm. I have a bunch of ideas, but really I should just like spend more time in Zurich, and then I would be able to actually like do actual work. Yes, I do have plans to improve that and to make it more stronger. Okay. More stronger. Stronger.
Do people need to worry? We got it. More stronger.
Thank you.
Do people?
I'm foreigner. Sorry.
People? No.
I know, bloody foreigners.
No one's foreign. You are just from another country.
Oh. Yeah.
We can debate that later.
Tomato.
You're a foreigner.
Anyway.
All right.
Lightning.
Go back to Switzerland or wherever you're from and help FIFA steal everything. No, just easy. It's all fine. Joel and Oliver made it good. The question is about interstitials, but I think it's more about a lot of sites will have overlays come up.
Yeah.
Is that a problem ranking? Do you guys look at that and say,
Right now, no.
No? Okay, good. More of them. Oh, wait, but?
No, just go.
Okay.
Lightning session.
All right. Author rank, you using that for normal search results?
I don't know.
Okay. Answered.
I mean, like when
you use it for
in-depth
in-depth articles, you're still trying to figure out who authored this article and use that as part of the component.
I don't want to say something stupid, but or something that's not true. But when we deprecated authorship images, then we didn't actually deprecate the whole authorship concept. And I would imagine that that data can be really valuable for different teams. But I can say with certainty that yes, we are using it.
Okay. See, there's another question on, can you tell us what quality is?
I think it's 42.
Well, actually, to continue with the question, it was good HTML, 515 words of content, but not more than 516?
I think it's still 42. No, you actually just, we don't care about HTML. Well, during rendering...
Well, they want to know what quality is. It's like, have good content and make it quality. And then people are like, well, what's my quality score? How do I know if it's quality? Help me!
but like if you go to search engine land, for example, there are columns, for example. You are go to SEMrush.
Yeah.
There is good content there. That's something that is valuable. If it's valuable for the user, if it can satisfy an information need and users love that content, then that's quality content. If you get links...
Don't worry, you're fine. Ignore the man on the stage next to you.
It's distracting, sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I was trying to be subtle. Then you distracted me by looking at what I was doing.
If you have, in general, if you have quality content, then users will link to it. For example, on, I don't know, like on Facebook, people will like your content. On Google+, they will +1 it, or on Twitter, they will share the heck out of it. It's pretty easy to like get a sense of what is quality. I'm not sure why are we actually discussing that question.
Because everybody wants to know from Google what quality is.
It bothers me because it's so obvious. When you provide valuable, good content, something that satisfies the user's information need, that is quality. People will start linking to your content. People will start liking your content, +1ing your content. That is quality. When you see that your users love your content, then you know that you have quality content.
And there you go. See, that's perfect. You just say, hey, for example, if you see
I just had to work myself up.
No, it's good. You're working up good. Kind of, if everybody's sharing your content, that might be a sign that people like it.
But we don't use.
I didn't say that. I just said. I didn't say that, and I'm not even going there.
You were hinting there.
I'm not even hinting at it.
Of course you were.
I'm not. I'm saying that if you are trying to find a proxy for quality to understand what quality content is, if a lot of people are sharing your content and you didn't buy those shares or everything, that could be a good sign that you're making good content. Doesn't have anything to do with Google, it's just like quality. But let's leave it off there, and we're clear that the share stuff isn't going there. Gary, thank you so much for being here and being a good sport. We really appreciate you having me. Thank you.